Happy Friday, girl. This is Mignonette, and I am here to share some encouraging words with you to take you into your weekend. My question for you today is, are you celebrating yourself? Are you celebrating yourself? Some of us have mastered celebrating others. We have mastered being a cheerleader, standing on the sidelines and encouraging everyone else on their way. And that is especially true for wives and mothers. But are you taking the time to celebrate yourself? Are you taking the time to allow others to celebrate you? It's so important that we learn how to celebrate ourselves. We can really be our toughest critic. Am I right? I mean, we can be so hard on ourselves. We can allow ourselves to just criticize and critique and find fault with ourselves and the things that we maybe didn't get quite right. Maybe the things that didn't pan out the way that we expected them to. I mean, sometimes we can just really beat ourselves up. But we need to devote that same energy, if not more, to celebrating ourselves, to encouraging ourselves, to cheerleading ourselves. One thing that I am learning to do is be less dependent upon the encouragement and the affirmation of people. That is a big one. And I know that we like it when other people encourage us. We like to be affirmed by others. We like when someone comes along and tells us we're doing a great job. But we cannot be addicted to the approval of people. We are only to be addicted to the approval of God. We only need His affirmation. We only need His thumbs up. We only need His blue check next to our name. We don't need people to approve of us. And so it's so important that we learn how to encourage and celebrate ourselves. This question is inspired by 1 Samuel chapter 30 and verse 6, and it reads like this in the King James. It says, "And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God." David had a reason to be greatly distressed, and the people had a reason to be greatly distressed. Right before we get to verse 6, we see that David and his companions were basically ambushed, and their children, their wives were taken as prisoners of war. All of their possessions were just gone, and they were just at a loss. They were completely at a loss. They were, I'm sure, experiencing a flurry of emotions at the time. And of course, because David was the leader, the weight of responsibility fell on him. Just that quickly, this group of people that had been with him, that had been for him, that had been on his side, that had said, "David, we'll follow you wherever you go. David, we're going to support you. David, you're a great leader." As soon as the circumstances changed, these same people wanted him dead. They wanted to kill him. David now found himself without the approval and affirmation of people, and totally dependent upon God. And it shouldn't take a crisis for us to get to that place. But I believe that David learned an important lesson from that crisis. He learned, before he ever took the throne, he learned how to encourage himself in the Lord. He learned how to break himself free from the addiction of other people's approval. And now, years later, when David would become king, I believe that there were many things in his life that would come up that would show him how fickle the approval of people was, and that would remind him once again that it was up to him to encourage himself in the Lord. Sis, I want you to just reflect on where you've been, what you've been through, and look at where you are today. And I just want you to applaud yourself. I want you to celebrate yourself. I want you to celebrate your spiritual growth. I want you to celebrate your professional growth. I want you to celebrate your emotional growth. I want you to celebrate your relational growth. I just want you to take a moment right now to celebrate where you are. Maybe you're not where exactly you want to be. And I mean, come on, now, realistically, how many of us are exactly where we want to be in every part of our lives? We're all on a journey. We are all walking by faith and not by sight to see the promises of God fulfilled in our lives. But we cannot wait until everything is perfect to celebrate where we are and what we've accomplished and what God has already done in our lives. So today, just take a moment, reflect, think about what you've accomplished, what you've gone through. Maybe you feel like things are low. Maybe you feel discouraged. Maybe, this hasn't been the year you were hoping for. You know what, sister, though? You're still here. You're still standing. And I pray that your trust in God is stronger than it's ever been before. And that during this season, even if it's a difficult one, that like David, you will learn how to put your complete confidence and trust in the Lord and no one else. I pray this encourages you as you continue to walk by faith and not by sight.